Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and as we mentioned at the beginning of our show today, that we will be talking about the Grand Egyptian Museum preparations for the grand opening of the Grand Egyptian Museum. And Prime Minister Mustafa Merbouli has chaired a meeting of the Supreme Committee to organize the opening celebrations of the museum, confirming that the opening date is set for the 3rd of July. The Monday meeting included a number of ministers and senior officials, including Kamil El-Wazir, Deputy Prime Minister for Industrial Development, Minister of Industry and Transport, Manal Awad, Minister of Local Development, Ahmed Kushka, Minister of Finance, Sherif Fathi, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, Sameh Hifni, Minister of Civil Aviation, and Ahmed Hanu, Minister of Culture, as well as officials from the United Media Services and other relevant authorities to discuss the latest developments on the ground concerning the grand opening. And to know more about the Grand Egyptian Museum preparations for opening, we are delighted to have with us over the phone Mrs. Nagia Fanous. She's a tourism expert. Good morning, Mrs. Nagia.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us today in Nile TV. And I would like you to tell me more about the preparations that are taking place to the Grand Egyptian Museum.
Yes, Egypt government has been busy preparing now for opening the Grand Museum in July the 3rd.
Yeah.
In this year, after 3 months will be open. This will be a development work. The area surrounding the museum to ensure a smooth and enjoyable experience for visitors, and organizing celebration. The Supreme Committee has been tasked with organizing the opening celebrations, which will likely including cultural events, performances, and other activities. And also the government has been working to finalize the logistics for opening, including ticket sales, security, and the crowd management. And we thank the government's efforts. It's a great successful for opening the Grand Egyptian Museum, which is it will be the great offer for all the world to become a world-class tourist destination also.
Yes. And do we expect a flow of tourists after the Grand Egyptian Museum opening? Mrs. Nagia, do you hear me?
Yes. No, I don't hear you. Please.
I'm asking about the impact of the Grand Egyptian Museum opening on the flow of tourists to Egypt.
Yes, yes. It is very important for tourism, this Grand Museum, because it is playing a great role to impact and to promote the tourism here in Egypt. It will be have impressive collection over 100,000 artifacts, including some of the most significant cultural and historical items in Egypt's history. Like the Tutankhamun's collection, for example, and the solar boat of Khufu from the 4th dynasty in Egypt, and the statue of the second Ramses II, the colossal statue of powerful 14th century BC. And the prehistoric period artifacts, Middle Kingdom, and the hanging obelisk, and the solar boat, more rare collection from Middle Kingdom also, like the statue of King Senusert I and Amenhotep III. And the New Kingdom artifacts which will be shown in galleries 7 and 9 galleries from the New Kingdom, the most famous part of Egypt's history.
Yes, that's amazing.
And the treasure of King Tutankhamun, his own galleries, 2 galleries special for this collection, including the funeral mask, the golden mask, and the great sarcophagus of Tutankhamun, with 110 kilograms of massive gold.
Yes, this is very interesting, and I think the whole world is waiting for the Grand Egyptian Museum opening.
Yes,
Mrs. Nagia Fanous, tourism expert, thank you very much for joining us today in Nile TV International. And ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our breakfast show today. Thanks for watching. I'm Abir Mitwali.